Hi everyone, it's Amanda from Taylor Transformations, and I have once again got an amazing wellbeing business here with me. So I'm going to hand straight over to you, Lexi, and I'll let you introduce yourself and tell us over about what you do.
Yeah, hi everybody. It's so nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I just love well-being. I love like holistic work, working with the body and the mind and the emotions and the energy and nutrition. I feel like for me personally, I'll share a bit more about my backstory, but it's not until I kind of made some space for all those different areas that I really kind of healed myself from some deep trauma and really started to live the life that I wanted to live. So yeah, I had about 5 years ago, I had severe PTSD, and now I don't, basically. And I tried loads of different therapies and they were all great. But when I came across working with the body in particular and the vagus nerve and the nervous system, that's when everything shifted for me. I reprogrammed my body into a sense of safety, trained in the work, and then started sessions with one-to-ones, and then thought, oh my God, this work is amazing. So I was a teacher anyway. I did my master's degree, and now I've set up the School of Trauma Release, and I train practitioners to be trauma release practitioners. And I also have a little CPD, continuing professional development, a little add-on for holistic practitioners who just want to add some body oriented trauma informed tools to their toolkit, really. So yeah.
Fantastic. Sounds amazing. Yeah, and it's something that's really needed, especially in this day and age with everything that's been going on. I think this training is so important. As like we were talking a little bit earlier, weren't we? So yeah,
It is. And like I was a teacher for kids who had been through trauma, but then I trained in some meditation and some Reiki, and that's all really good. But when I brought the body and the science and the vagus nerve into it, and I kind of combined it with like that kind of stuff, then it just got like even more powerful. So I
yeah,
really want to just spread this like latest edge science, and I'll explain more in a minute. But the part of the body that's responsible for anxiety and depression is the vagus nerve that's in the body and runs down the spine. And I just love sharing science and tools because people think there's something wrong with them. They think it's all in the mind, where it's in the body. Like when you're anxious, you feel it in your body. And the vagus nerve is responsible for that. And you can tap into that and you can reprogram your body into safety. And I just want to spread all of this work. It's really empowering for the individual.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so linked, isn't it? Sort of your mind and your body. I mean,
Yeah.
myself in my own, yeah, myself in my own journey. I started noticing it very physically
Mm,
when I sort of got into my 30s. It really hit me.
mm.
And it was only then when I sort of started working on myself and dealing with things that it started releasing a little bit in my body then. But as you say, the body work is so important. You get the two together, you get the mindfulness, the well-being techniques followed by the body work, and it can make such a difference. It really can.
Like we said there, like having all of it, like a bit of the mind, a bit of the body, a bit of this, like, yeah, then it's like really powerful and potent. So my bit is just bringing in the body and the science. And also what I'm really passionate about is like if you just have like a one-to-one session or just a group and then you go to a group and you go to a one-to-one, that's great. But I also like to teach these micro tools that you can do in the supermarket when you're cooking dinner, when you're making a cup of tea. So it's
Fantastic.
like the micro tools combined with the groups and the one-to-one therapy is well what I use to really bring myself out of severe PTSD to no PTSD, because I was able to reprogram my body into a sense of safety. But that only happened. It's like if you learn the piano or go to the gym or learn a musical, like learn to ride a bike, like you're only gonna change your muscle memory and reprogram your body if you do things like consistently and like you actually do it. So that the first set of tools I teach on any of my trainings or courses or one-to-ones are these tools that you don't need any extra time to do, and it taps into the vagus nerve and brings the safety and everything.
Oh, that's fantastic. And like you all know from me constantly waffling on about it, your brain learns through repetition. That's how it picks up on these things, these healthy habits. And It just takes time. It's like anything. It's 21 days to break a habit, 21 days to build a new one, and 21 days to sustain it. That's 63 days. So, it's consistency, keep going. And by that point, it's part of your routine. So it becomes a lot more natural, doesn't it?
Yeah, and when you're in like fight or flight, anxious, worry, or freeze, depression, numbness, like you can't really do many things consistently, but you can come to do these like really gentle body orientated skills. And what I've seen recently is like my work, like there's so many amazing practitioners out there, and also like people that are going through therapy is amazing. And I just see like all of us collaborating our skills, and my work is just like adding like a little bit of extra science or a little bit of extra tools, so just like adding some stuff to people's practice already, or just to kind of add some extra oomph. And likewise, I went and did like a little Reiki top up just to add that to my toolkit. So I feel like the more we can learn off each other, the more it's just going to be a lot more powerful and potent.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, every time we get anybody on, I learn so much and it just opens up so many avenues. That's part of the reason why I wanted to do these interviews is there's so much out there that just isn't known about. So the idea is to get the word out, to spread it, to help people effectively, to sort of say, look, have a check of this and see if this helps you. And yeah, like you said, the little tools that are just easy to fit in just make all the difference.
Yeah, and I also want to give like credibility and like validity to the holistic practitioners, like maybe the like reflexology and Reiki and acupuncture, kinesiology, chiropractor. What my work also does is it also now it shares the science about how those modalities and meditation, yoga shares the science on how actually those holistic modalities are actually real and true and do help to reprogram the body into safety. So it's like science is finally caught up with the magic per se. And then I just love sharing the science behind all of that, because it just gives you a little bit more of an oomph behind your business.
Absolutely. And it convinces your brain as well. If your brain learns how things work and that, it isn't all woo woo up in the air, it is something scientific in how it works. That just helps your brain go, oh, right, okay, then. Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know everyone listening, like there's nothing woo woo about healing your own trauma, is there?
Absolutely, absolutely.
There's nothing magical about healing your own trauma, but after you have released a lot from the body and you've reprogrammed your body into safety, then the magic can come back. And that's like when you finally notice like a robin again in the tree, or you notice like the golden sunlight on the river. And like when you're in trauma states, it's almost like the magic evaporates from your world. So yeah, nothing magical about releasing trauma, but the magic definitely comes back after you've released your trauma.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So I was going to ask you how you got where you were today, but I think you've already answered that. Is there anything else you want to add to what you've already told us in terms of that?
Yeah, so it was two things really. So one it was the trauma that I went through and searching these different modalities, and nothing was really working. And then I worked with the body, and I was like I did this weekend little mini course on working with the vagus nerve and the body. And in that weekend alone, all of my flashbacks stopped. And I was like, oh
Mm.
my God, what is this? I need to train. So that's that bit. But also I was working with a therapist at the time, and I was teaching for in a school kids that have been through trauma. I knew that I wanted to leave teaching to do something else, but I wasn't quite sure what, and I had all these fears around money and da da da. And my therapist at the time, she said, well, instead of what you want to do, she was like, how do you want to feel in your next job? And I was like, yes, that is it. Because actually, it doesn't really matter what I go on to do as long as I'm feeling like safe and freedom and bliss or something. So I also teach manifestation, but not in the kind of instant manifestation. Like I think something and it happens, although I do hold out for that. My manifestation is like it's like creating your life after trauma. Like after I healed from PTSD and I had my energy back, I was like, right, what's next? So my manifestation is you have like a feeling. So I wanted to feel like safe and freedom. And then you have a vision, like a dream. Like I had this dream to like work less and do some one-to-ones and teaching online so that I could maybe go surfing in Portugal or something. So then I had this vision. And then from there, I had the action steps that I needed to do. But it also brought up a lot of fear. So I had to learn how to work with the body and the fear. And over time, I had my feeling, I had my vision, I worked with the fear, I took the action steps, and I did that again and again and again. And now I eventually left teaching, like went part-time teaching, grew this, and now I left teaching. I'm earning more money than I was. I've taken my business online. I did a month in Portugal, a month snowboarding in Switzerland, and I've kind of really manifested my dream life. Um, but and I coach people through that, but it's like you have to learn how to work with fear, because fear is going to come up again and again and again and again. So I do the trauma release, and I teach that how to become a trauma release practitioner. And I also do like manifestation work, which is creating your life after trauma. I do that one-to-one, and then that's the second year of the course, and you can also go on to do that. So yeah, and like you have a vision and you need to take the actions, but people struggle getting the vision and then they struggle taking the action. So I just guide people through that so they can really start to live their soul's dream life, really.
Fantastic. Sounds amazing. So what's
Yeah.
the favorite part of your job?
For me, it's like my mum's like, how can you work with trauma all day, every day? And I say to her, I get a buzz after every single one-to-one session or retreat or training course. Like today, for example, I had this client and it was amazing. I've had permission to share this before. She had no memory. She knew she had some traumas of like 1, 2, and 3, but she had no memory of it. But she knew that something was stored in her body. So I guided her into the body, where's the sensations? And we just sat with it and we kind of done some other stuff. And next minute, she's like, oh my God, I can feel this emotion. And what I learned the other day was there's 3 types of tears. There's tears, if you get a bit of dust in your eye, there's tears for that. There's tears to lubricate your eye. And then there's also the other tear, which is just stress in your tears. So her eyes started to well up, and I was like, great, that's just the cortisol coming out of your system. So she had this kind of emotional release, but based on no memory, like there's no memory there. She doesn't know what it's about, but it's stored in her body. And then after she had this release with the cortisol from the water in her eyes, after that, she had this massive high feeling and she was like proper, just like happy and hyper. And she just walked out the door like bouncing.
Fantastic.
And that's what happens again and again. Like people come in a certain way, we work with the body, and because the body's such deep work and deep transformation, they then walk out the door another way. So they come in, walk out a bit like a more like aligned, centered, grounded version. And that just gives me like a huge buzz like every time.
Yeah, it's seeing that difference, isn't it, from when they walk in the door until then when they leave, when they've done all that work, it's just
Yeah.
amazing.
And I think so many of my clients initially come to me absolutely hopeless. Like they've tried some therapies that hasn't worked for them. Some people, like medication's great for some people. Some people, it isn't helping them. So they've tried the kind of mainstream routes of therapy and medication, but they're still feeling anxious in their body. They've still got a knot in their body. And they come to me absolutely hopeless. They feel that there's no hope for them. They've just got to live their life like that for the rest of their life. That's just the way it's going to be. And then I teach them the science. I teach them the tools for the vagus nerve. We do a bit of a release from the body, the neck, shoulders, back, and hips. That's where cortisol is stored. And most of them, I say, what's your biggest takeaway? And most of them sometimes cry and they just say hope.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, like it does actually work. Like it's science. Like you just reprogram your body into safety and release the cortisol from your neck, shoulders, back, and hips. And that might take one session or a year, but like it will work. And I've worked with hundreds of clients, and I'm going to write a book and I'm going to have all these case studies from all my clients to show like hope, 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 like this does work.
I think you've even got a title there. Hope.
Yeah.
I love love it. I love it. Oh, well, you'll have to let us know if when you write this book. Yeah, definitely send us that information. That sounds brilliant. But yeah, it's just amazing sort of seeing that light at the end of the tunnel. And like what Lexi said before about the tears, if you actually Google it, everybody out there, you can actually see images of it under a microscope, so you can see what it looks, the difference in the tears. It's absolutely fascinating. So yeah, go check that out. Um, so are there any misunderstandings about your line of work?
Mm. So there's quite a lot of videos on like Instagram with trauma release being like, I don't know if anyone's seen it, where like the spine fully comes up and they're shaking and
Oh
they're
yes, yes.
broken down on the floor, and like, and people think it's going to open like a whole can of worms. So there's two things I want to talk about. That's the first one. Whereas actually the work I do, the tools that I teach you, it releases some dopamine in the body, which is a feel-good chemical. And that dopamine actually dissolves cortisol, which is stress. So
Okay.
when you can teach your body to release dopamine, it goes in, it dissolves the stress. But also, with my work, the stress is held in your neck, shoulders, back, and hips. So we just like release a tiny bit at a time. So each muscle has like a stress release point on the body and the head. So we just release like a little bit from the neck, and then the next time we do, might do a bit from the back. So it's very safe, it's very gentle. You're not going to open a can of worms. Like each session is really contained. Like you come in, we do the work. Yes, sometimes you might cry, but sometimes you might not. You do the work, and then every time you come back to regulation, you even feel a little bit better than when you walked in, and then you leave, and then you come back, and we do it again and again. So it's really contained.
Yeah, yeah, sort of gentle, subtle, like a dripping of a tap type of a thing.
Yeah, that's it. And then the other misconception is that trauma has to be this like big event, or it has to be like gnarly stuff that happened in your childhood. And yes, that is right. And I do work with people who have been through severe trauma continuously in their childhood and absolutely horrendous events. I do work with that. But trauma is actually a state of the nervous system, and it's when you get stuck. So if you're stuck in fight or flight, which is anxiety, worry, frustration, if you're stuck in there for a prolonged period of time, like 2 months, 3 months, 2 years, 5 years, we're not meant to be, our bodies aren't meant to be stuck in that state for that long. So that actually is trauma if you've been stuck in fight or flight for a prolonged period of time, or freeze, which is numbness, dissociation, shutdown. If you're stuck in there for a long period of time, that's also trauma. So one misconception that I really want to talk to is that trauma can also be when something small happens, small. It builds up in your stress cup, and then you have all that cortisol, which is the same as if one significant event happened to you.
Yeah,
But there is a way to really quickly and efficiently bring your body back down into that calm safety state. So I want to validate the really like gnarly traumas that happened for a long period of time in your childhood, the really like distressing events that happen. But I also want to validate all the little things that kind of add up to build to that. And also vicarious trauma. So that's like if a loved one is going through trauma, or if you're like a nurse experiencing lots of trauma, or therapists that haven't had the training. In my training courses, I teach my therapists how to look after themselves on a really deep body orientated level. You can still, your stress cup can get full up because of other people's traumas. That's what happened to me at the school that I was working in, because I never got taught any of this in my training. Luckily, I now know I do blissness, which is business without the burnout.
oh, I love
Uh,
that.
yeah, so I just want to validate like all those different types of traumas, and just actually say what trauma is, the state of the nervous system that gets stuck.
Yeah, because there's so many people that wouldn't think that oh trauma that's got to be something really dramatic, and in reality it like you say it doesn't necessarily have to be, and it could be lots of little things that build up over time. Like I was saying earlier, sort of when I got to my 30s, that's when it sort of hit me. And
Mm,
through doing my hypnotherapy training, they were sort of saying to me that yeah, when you sort of hit your 30s, it's built up in your body by that point, all the little things, and that's when it starts showing and
mm,
it starts coming out of you. So
yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. And I think as well, I want to make it like, so two things. One is you can also go and have trauma therapy work. So I've done a lot of trauma therapy work now, and I feel like good most of the time. But like traumas from the past, or I'll get triggered, still come up now and again. So I still have to have trauma release sessions myself. And also like so many people only come to me when they're in crisis, which is understandable. But if you're feeling good, like these sessions can also take you from good to great.
Yeah.
So I really like that. And then I personally go for like a service and MOT every month with my like kinesiologist trauma release, so like the body work. So it's like taking the kitchen bin out. Like if you didn't take the kitchen bin out, which is like stress for a whole month, then it's not going to be that nice. So I want to just really like get rid of this thing that like you only go to like trauma release, or you only go to therapy. Let's just say any therapy. You only go to therapy when you've got issues or problems. Like, yes, you can, but I also do it as a preventative measure.
Yeah.
And I also do it to help me to go from, I did feel like I was in hell, but now I feel good. And now I go to help me go from good to great as well.
Yeah. No, fantastic. Yeah, well, we're all about a wellbeing toolkit, and it's
Mm,
something that you can keep using throughout. Like with me, I have my stressful ones, which is my hypnotherapy. So if I'm really bad, that's where I go. But then I have my day-to-day stuff that
mm,
isn't quite, but just keeps me ticking along and, doing what I need to. So it's all part of the same thing, if you know what I mean. But
yeah,
yeah, but if you do things while you're sort of in a better state, it's because we're like an onion out with it. Once you peel one layer, there's another layer that then
yeah,
you end up getting to. So it's just one of those things you just got to keep on top of it. And then when it gets too much, go
yeah,
and do the big work, but still do all the little things just to keep you
yeah,
going and just to keep you balanced.
exactly. And I'm so pleased that you're saying that as well, because the more people that can just spread this, like exactly what you said there, it's just going to be so beneficial for people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll get the word out. We will. So, what advice would you give someone who wants to do what you do?
So I would say, well, come on my training course.
It's the first thing that popped into my head. I was like, we should just go on your course, you'll be fine.
Yeah, just go on my course, learn it. Yeah, I feel there's so much training out there. Like, first of all, I've done this. I want to offer you people this new perspective on how to sign up for a certain training course, how to know it's right for you. And I really want to bring in like the body. So when you see like a particular training course, if you do want to kind of train in trauma release, like find some quiet time and go into your body and see how your body responds to my course or another course or another course. And the one that makes your body kind of like relax a little bit, not your mind. Like your mind will be like, I can't afford that, or I can't do this, or I'm blah 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 blah. So kind of like, you know, breathe into your heart, relax your jaw, like soften your eyes, like quiet the mind a little bit, check into your body, and your body will tell you which course is right for you. And for me personally, I look for trainers who, you know, are walking the walk and talking the talk. And like the reason I created this course is because I used it to heal myself from severe PTSD, and now I don't have it. So that's just a personal preference. I always look for trainers, mentors, practitioners who have like been rock bottom where they are now, and they're like this embodied teacher of it, and they've not just like read it somewhere, or it's not just top level. um yeah, so there's lots out there. Listen to your body, and yeah, get clear on what you want. And but it's amazing work. And like my mum said, like, oh, do you not get like traumatized? And no, I don't, because I'm constantly doing tools for my body and I'm looking after myself, and I get a buzz after every client. So it's fun. And like even after my trauma release session today with my client, at the end we were like, it's like weirdly fun releasing trauma. Like we do kind of fun as well. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not all doom and gloom. There is happiness at the end of it, definitely. And like
Yeah.
you said, it's that having that rapport with someone. I think that makes such a difference. If you've got that connection, that click,
Yeah.
then you're definitely headed down the right path. I've spoke to so many people that have tried things in the past, but the therapist or the practitioner that they went to, there was just something that didn't work, and they put it then down to the whatever it was that they went to try. And I'm like, just try it with someone else and just see the difference. Find someone that you click with, give it another go, because you never know. It could have just been that, but just wasn't right.
It's like hairdressers, isn't it? Like you go to one hairdresser and you think, oh my God, like they didn't cut my hair very well. You're not ever going to not get your hair cut again. You just try
Exactly.
someone else.
I like that. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
And also, like, people think, like, oh, I trained as a trauma release practitioner and like I have to help like homeless people or heroin addicts. And yes, you can join a charity and help them with trauma, fine. But I work with beautiful people who have huge dreams and huge visions and are here for a huge purpose. And the fact they went through a load of like devastating trauma was because they're going to heal from it, learn all that wisdom, and then they're going to go on to these like incredible things. So I work with the most empowering, inspiring people that have gone off to create some really, really incredible businesses that are doing like huge change in the world. And that's the third part of my business is I do like what I call blissness coaching. So someone that's just trained in something and they want to get out there in the world, but as soon as they start to go out there, their body goes into that freeze response. Or you probably had it when you first like went on Instagram, your like throat closes or something. Because you do trauma release and then you create your life, and then most people want to make some kind of difference with their healing. So
Yeah.
I kind of worked with these people, and then I realized that most of them then want to go and set up some kind of business. And I went from just like so scared about running one meditation class to now like having this whole school and retreats and training courses. And I could only do that because, yes, I had the mindset shifts with my counselor, but I had to learn how to work with those freeze responses in my body.
Yeah.
Um, so if anyone wants to train in this work, you can also work with really incredible, inspiring, beautiful, like earth angel people as well. Like you can work with whoever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people are very good at masking any trauma that they've had anyway, that they can put on that I'm
Mm,
fine, everything's amazing, and just get about when inside,
mm,
they might be falling to absolute pieces. But
mm,
it's those people that are masking it that you might not always put
mm,
in the, oh, they've had a bit of trauma because you just wouldn't know because people keep
mm.
it in, they keep it quiet. So, like you were saying, it's, you know, anybody and everybody can have it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so much shame around. Like I thought I was wrong. I thought I was only allowed to be happy. And then when I learned the science of the different states of the nervous system and that emotions are just like chemicals in your body and that you're going to feel like every single emotion as a human, I was like, oh, really? So there's nothing like wrong with me? And then when I learned the science around that, I was like, oh, yeah, maybe I do need to release something in my body. And of course, because you're going to have some kind of trauma because we went through like a school system that wasn't that great, or your parents or carers are not going to be perfect the whole time, and you might have been told that you were too sensitive or too much, or you had to change yourself to fit in, or so of course there's going to be something because we live in this like weird and wonderful and crazy world. So there's going to be some kind of something stored in your body somewhere for everybody, and that's just normal. And also, if you're expanding and you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, like you want to like make more money or have more time or enter a relationship after you've been through like a crap relationship, or if you want to like get healthier and fitter, like that is going to cause some level of like anxiety and fight or flight when you like stretch yourself to the outside of your comfort zone. So it's like if you meet people that are fine, it's like great, but you're clearly not also expanding yourself into like a bigger version of yourself. So I
Yeah.
actually like I kind of like shout about it now when I'm like I'm reaching the edge of my comfort zone and I'm in a bit of anxiety, fight or flight, because it shows that I'm like pushing myself out of my comfort zone to like meet a new health goal, or like meeting my new partner after I'd been through like a really horrendous relationship. Like I was just like on the edge of my comfort zone, and I had to work through that. And as soon as I worked through that edge, I then just reached this other level of like amazingness. So it's all great, like however you're feeling, whatever you're going through, whatever you've been through, like it's all just part of the human journey. So, and we might as well have someone to support us through it. I mean, I see about 6 people every month. Like I love getting support because I love just expanding and feeling even better and stepping more into bliss. My book's actually going to be called Rock Bottom to Bliss.
Oh,
Uh,
fantastic. I
yeah,
like that.
I just love therapy and support and releasing more from my body, and because it just makes you feel better and better.
Yeah, definitely. I think people are so afraid of these things, but actually, once you've done it and you realize the benefits you're getting out of it and the person you become,
Yeah.
because, very much I felt like a very non-person at the beginning. I
Mm.
was different with everybody that was there. I didn't know who me was. And
Yeah.
once I started releasing all of this stuff and learning how the brain works and all the science behind it and everything, you can step out and become you,
Yeah.
you know, and such a difference it just makes.
Yeah.
It's,
And that
yeah,
causes so much anxiety, doesn't it, when you're pretending to be this person, this person, this person. And then, yeah, when you can do all the inner work and then when you can just be you, it's just like, ah. And then, like, I don't know, most people's journey, like, I went from absolute self-hate to now, like, way more self-love. And now I can be me because I have a lot more love for myself and I can be me. And if they don't like it or they don't like it, well, I don't really care about that because I've got my people. So you
absolutely.
become like a lot more resilient. And everyone isn't gonna like you. Like not everyone
Yeah,
like herbal tea or coffee or Red Bull. Like, we're all like not everyone's gonna like you, and that's okay.
exactly. That's absolutely fine. That's what life is. You wouldn't have the variety, would you, if everybody liked everybody in exactly the same way? It just
Yeah, and
wouldn't be
that's
the same.
when you tone your vagus nerve. That's like a really scientific, practical way to become more resilient. Like people say, love yourself, or it doesn't matter what they think. But when you actually tone your vagus nerve, like instead of like a little mini tree with mini roots, when there's just like a puff of wind, it blows over. Your vagus nerve goes all the way down your spine. It's like your trunk. So if you tone that through these different exercises, you become more like this mighty big oak tree, and then like a storm can hit you or someone can say something to you and it like doesn't even bother you. And that's like partly mindset, of course, but also like this tone in the vagus nerve.
Definitely. I say just everything working in harmony together and just, yeah, I like that. It's a great analogy.
Mm.
So what makes you feel inspired and motivated?
I think for me, it's helping people to really live their their like soul's dream. So I feel like we've lost the ability to dream, and people are just kind of stuck. Some people are stuck, like, I just need to do this or this. And I just help people to say, in a dream world, if anything was possible, how do you want to feel in your relationships, in your job, in there, in whatever? And then I kind of like help people to know that it's possible. And even if you've got like a crazy big dream, like you can still take an action step today. Like let's just take, I don't know, you want to do like a month in the Maldives or something, right? Something that you think is like really impossible. You can still like put a screensaver of the Maldives on your phone, or you can still do a therapy session to work with one mindset that's blocking you. You can still like go on a training course to learn something that you can go online to get more money to do that in the future. Like you can still plan that if you've got young kids, well, maybe in 10 years' time when they're grown up, then I can do it. So I kind of I help people to make the impossible kind of possible, so that they can really start to like have the life that they kind of dream of, really. And that can be
Definitely.
like some people have really like what I would class as like simple, like a really simple dream, but that just brings so much feeling quality to them. So like whatever it is, like say like business, like if you want to set up a cat's home, or if you want to like work one-to-one with just a group of people, or if you do want to run like a 1 million pound corporation doing organic healthcare or something, I don't know. like what, there's no hierarchy, but like we all have these dreams, and these dreams aren't random. They're like, if you're dreaming it and thinking it, then it's for you and you're meant to be doing this. And I really love helping people to step into that. And that's what part of the trauma release is. When you're in trauma states, you don't have the energy to take the action, and you don't have the ability to dream because you're just on survival mode, and all you can think about is the danger that's in your present moment.
Yeah.
So I love helping people release the trauma, and then they can start to dream again. And how do they want to feel, and how do they want their life to look like? And I just help them to like shape their new reality. Yeah, so
Oh,
that's really
brilliant. It's just fantastic. And it's so true. I mean, my dream was to move down here and start with this business, and within a year I did it. So, you can do it once you move past. And I would have never thought I could do anything like that back when I first started all of this. So yeah, honestly, you can
yeah,
have that dream, folks.
yeah, got to do the work. Like you've done your hypnotherapy training, you've done the inner work, and without that inner work, you probably wouldn't have thought your dream was possible or even access it, or all the fear would have stopped you before you'd even like taken the first action step. So that's what I also love about therapy. It kind of opens you up to like more possibilities, and you can actually create your life.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And as I say, once you start, you come across so many other different things, and then you want to learn more. So started with the hypnotherapy, and then they were all talking about Reiki. I was like, "What's Reiki?" So I did that, and then meditation, and then it all just sort of
Mm,
falls together. But you find all these things, and they just help you just
mm,
move along, and keep yourself in a good place. Like you're
mm,
saying, the body work is so important to that
mm.
as well. You can work with the mind, but you're still holding it all in the body. Um, and if you don't do that work, then you're
Yeah.
sort of stuck in a bit of a rut, aren't you, really? So, yeah, no, I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. So, we're all about well-being here. So, can you tell me what well-being means to you?
Yeah, so I think for me, it really is that holistic approach, like being like well in the mind, well in the body, well in your energy, well in your nutrition. But when I first started this journey, I love this idea of like stacking habits. So like if someone's out there like, oh my God, like that just seems too much, like just start with one thing, like just add some more spinach to your stir fry or something, or just park in the car park space away in the supermarket. Like, so just start really small. And like it has probably taken me like 10 years to actually get pretty good at the mind, energy, body, and nutrition. But yeah, I'm just a real advocate for this holistic, having to do a little bit on each thing in order to really have this like optimal state and balanced state most of the time. And then having
Yeah,
the tools to get back there when you obviously are going to feel frustration, anger, and not very well, that's fine. But having the tools to get back there. Yeah. So I think well-being for me is well-being in lots of different areas, which then accumulate the whole.
fantastic. So, speaking of tools, what do you have in your well-being toolkit?
So on my I've got like a little online course, and what I teach is daily, weekly, and monthly like tools really.
Oh,
So my daily ones are so for example, like an increased heart rate is activates the fight or flight response. So putting your hand on your chest starts to release serotonin, and breathing in and out of your heart starts to lower the heart rate, which sends a signal of safety to the body, and it can start to drop you into your calm safety state. So on a daily basis, I do like a selection of 5 vagus nerve tools every single day. And then weekly, I make sure I move at least 3 times a week. And that will either be boxing, surfing, shaking, some gentle yoga, like whatever my body's calling for. So I'll do
mhm.
that weekly. And then monthly, I do have, yeah, therapy sessions. And I find that the movement also helps me with my emotional regulation and just keeping on top of that. So, like daily vagus nerve is body, movement is kind of emotions, and then the therapy is whatever else. So, daily, weekly, monthly, and people will find their own toolkit.
Oh, I like that. Fantastic. Some great advice. So are there any wellbeing resources that you can recommend?
Well, again, like my own stuff. Um, so I am actually going to create. So I run a practitioners circle in Newquay,
Okay.
and when I meet them this month, I am actually going to create a referrals list. And that's all practitioners that I have seen that I know are like accredited and I know have done the work. They're doing their work because it helped them to heal themselves. So it's like it's going to be like a really legitimate referrals list, and that's going to have loads of different practitioners in it. So I can send that to you when that's done.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, yeah. Get that sent out and posted. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And then so I've just got like a little pre-recorded online little course, self-study course thing that you can do to learn the science of the body, the mind, the emotions and tools. Um, and yeah, people can check out my stuff. So I'd say like a combination of this referrals list and then like the work that I do. And again, use your body to tell you which practitioner is like good for you. Yeah, I think that's quite important. Your body, you know, the body's so clever. It like, you know, digests food without you even telling it. Like women can grow a baby in her body without you even telling it. Like the body's just got so much wisdom that we just haven't even tapped into yet. So if it can grow like a baby and bones and eyelashes, and of course, if you listen to it, it will tell you who the right practitioner is.
Fantastic. No, I love it. And of course, there's going to be your book as well. So once that's out, that'll be another great resource that we can do. And once again, when she does all that, I will send it all out to you. So have you got any new projects coming up that you can tell us about?
Yeah, so one that I'm launching this week, which I'm really excited about, is this little add-on for holistic practitioners. And I've just this week got it accredited through the CPD.
Fantastic.
Um, so yeah, it's just so cool. So it's like anyone that has trained Reiki, meditation, hypnotherapy, counseling, and they just want to add the few body, like learn about the science of the body and learn some basic tools for the body that they can share. That's my new project this week, and I've had 15 people sign up to kind
Wow.
of trial this first one for me. It's not on my website yet. It's in a separate group. But I'm going to get them to test it for me and just polish it, and then it goes on my website. And yeah, so that's what I'm just super excited about this week.
Oh, that sounds absolutely amazing. Yeah, I'll definitely be looking out for more information on that.
Yeah, yeah.
So is there anything that we haven't covered today that you'd like to just tell us either around well-being, what you do, or trauma in general?
Just think my message is like, so whether you're releasing trauma or whether you're really trying to chase your dreams and go for like a new job or a new relationship or something, like I really just want to give this realistic message of like Rome wasn't built in a day. And like even if you feel it's not working, like especially when you're working with the body, like I said, like think how long it does take to learn how to swim or to ride a bike or to learn a musical instrument. Like when you're reprogramming the body into safety, whether that's fear of the past or fear of the future, you need to do it again and again and again. And just like, I don't know, for me, I learned the piano, and it didn't seem like I was getting anywhere when I practiced the piano. But then in 6 months' time, I could play a song. So when it feels like you're not doing anything, just keep going, keep going, keep going, because eventually you are going to be like, oh, wow, I used to feel anxious when I walked into every supermarket, and now I only feel anxious 3 times when a month when I walk in or something. So just keep going. Know that you're not doing it wrong if it's not working. Just sometimes these things take time, and sometimes it's 2 steps like back, 3 steps forward. But just keep going, keep going, keep going, because we're like living proof, aren't we, that it does work eventually. And I'm sure there were times you wanted to like give up.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it
Yeah, yeah.
does pay off. Yeah.
It does
So
it makes a big difference. And it's like, we're saying with anything, like if you imagine a seed, when you plant a seed, you don't see that seed growing. It's got all the roots and everything. It's taking the nutrients and the water and everything. But it's a long time before you start seeing that sprout come through. But you know it's happening. And it's the same with anything else that we're sort of doing. The changes are happening. Just give it time. Keep going. Remember we said about the 21, 21, 21. It just takes time to get these habits built in and time to actually see the progress in it. But no one's perfect at anything first. I look back at the first few videos I did for my business and I dread to even think. I don't even like looking at them anymore. But you just got to keep going with it and just give yourself time and patience and be kind to yourself. I think more than anything.
Yeah, definitely. And I think my other message is like transformation isn't just in the big things. It's not just in the sea swims, the yoga classes, the therapy session one-to-ones that I do. It's also in like the tiny, tiny little micro things, like when you just take a deeper breath, or you catch that negative thought and you change it, or you walk to the bathroom and you just shake it off or something. So it's like, so don't disregard the micro things. And if you can't go sea swimming, or if you can't afford a yoga class or a therapy session, there is still so much free stuff that you can do on YouTube, online, that even if you just do these two little things once a day, like breathing into your heart twice a day, isn't going to take you any extra time or any extra monies. And it's really powerful. It's not like, oh, that's not powerful. If you do that every day for a month, that will be just as, if not more powerful than going to a one-to-one trauma release session. So everyone can benefit from this.
Yeah, definitely. And if anyone wants to try anything like that, there's a company called Heart Math. And I think they do a free app where you can start doing that a little bit and doing a little bit of practice with it. They got lots of information on how it all works and the science behind it all as well. So go check that out. But yeah, absolutely fascinating.
Mm.
So thank you so much for joining us today. It's been absolutely loving you having you and just learning everything about you. I'm absolutely fascinated and I definitely will be following you and finding out so much more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post all Lexi's links and everything at the end of this video, so you can find her on all the socials, follow her, go give her page some love. And once she sends me all the bits through, I will send that all out to everybody as well. So thank you for joining me. I hope
Yeah.
you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see everybody later.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda. Thanks for having
No worries.
me.
Bye.